community solutions to keeping groceries affordable, and spotlighting our Twin Cities mobile market program. So Hillary, if you can go to the next slide, I'm really excited to introduce the other speakers that are joining me today too. We've got Leah Porter. She's one of the board members of the food group and also the founder of Twin Cities Mobile Market. We also have Jolene Baker, our sourcing manager. She's going to talk a little bit about where our foods come from and how we keep the bus stocked with high quality, nutritious, affordable items. We've got Angel Maldonado. He's one of our fantastic Twin Cities Mobile Market drivers. And technology permitting, he might be giving us a tour of the bus, but this is ambitious of us. So we're going to see how that part goes. So again, thank you all for being here. We will try to reserve some time at the end for questions. So if you have questions, you can feel free to add them to the chat and we'll get to those at the end. Before I launch into Twin Cities Mobile Market specifically though, I did want to just give a brief overview of the food group as an organization and talk a little bit more about what we do. So many of you might be familiar with our work. We are a food equity nonprofit. We really work at the intersection of access, nutrition, and equity. We're in 30 counties in Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. And we've been around for 45 years. So we do our work in three main areas. So we have our Big River Farms program. That's land-based education for immigrant and refugee farmers, really working on providing access to land, capital, and education so that farmers of color can build sustainable local food businesses. We have our hunger relief work where we have over 200 partners, food shelves and meal programs all around the greater Twin Cities area, really focusing on culturally connected foods, local foods, healthy foods, and making sure those foods are distributed to community with dignity. And then we have our affordable grocery programs. So we have Fair for All and our newest program, Twin Cities Mobile Market. So that is what I'm really excited to talk more about today. So Twin Cities Mobile Market is a grocery store on a bus. So it really exists so that we can bring quality, affordable, good food to neighborhoods that don't have access to it. So each year we see about 10,000 customers at over 30 locations in Minneapolis and St. Paul. And Hillary, if you can go to the next slide. Sometimes I get asked why a food nonprofit runs a grocery store and why we have a program where people are paying for groceries, but we still need community support to operate the program. And so to understand that, I think it's helpful to kind of look at the grocery landscape a little bit more broadly. And what we see is that we have some neighborhoods in our communities that have a lot of access to grocery stores, right? We have, you can see here, this is places where you can reach a grocery store in a 10-minute walk or less. But there are lots of neighborhoods that don't. These neighborhoods used to sometimes be referred to as food deserts. And so some of you may have heard that term. But I was attending a conference that the sous chef, Sean Sherman, gave several years ago. He just won a James Beard Award for his new restaurant. But he was talking about how food deserts, it gives deserts a bad rap. And that actually deserts are these beautiful, naturally occurring ecosystems. And if you look, you can find amazing food in deserts, but that actually the grocery landscape and having neighborhoods that don't have access to healthy, affordable groceries, it's really more food apartheid because it is public policy and investment decisions that we're making. And in Minnesota, especially, it often breaks down around race. So there's a big overlap between communities of color in our metro area not having access to good quality, affordable foods. So we have a lot of neighborhoods that might have a lot of corner stores where you can easily access kind of junk foods or really be paying a premium price for often not very high quality produce. And so that's why Twin Cities Mobile Market is so important. What we're doing is we're using community support. We're using our infrastructure as a food organization to source and distribute, but we're making sure that we break down those barriers of accessibility. So here on this map, you can see this is where we currently take the Twin Cities mobile market. We have lots of partnerships with low-income housing complexes, community centers, senior living facilities, and really focusing on how we can break down those barriers so that no one's needing to hop on 2 buses to schlep groceries across the city, right? But that instead they can have fresh fruits and veggies, high quality grains and meats brought pretty much to their door. So with that, I wanted to just again kind of emphasize that at the food group, Hillary, if you can head to the next slide, we really believe that affordable grocery solutions are a critical part of building the just and equitable food system that works for our community. And it was really fun looking at who is RSVPing for this morning's conversation, because so many of you are a part of supporting this solution already, whether it's that you're a corporate or organizational supporter of the Twin Cities mobile market, or an individual donor, right, who's just kind of partnering to say that we believe that everyone deserves access to really good foods that they can afford, and that grocery is a part of that solution. The other thing I just wanted to mention briefly is that we are seeing more and more customers at our sites due to inflation. So you can see here, we picked out some of the items that we focus on the bus, and the prices are going crazy, right? You can see we have an 8.7% inflation right now overall. Many of you, I'm sure, are noticing this in your own grocery shopping. But for families or households who are on very limited budgets, food tends to be the most flexible part. So when inflation goes up and all of our fixed costs increase, we have people who are really making super tough decisions and cutting out really important nutritious food. So again, Twin Cities mobile market is just a more critical solution than ever. So with that, I want to pass it to Leah Porter. She is one of our fantastic board members, but she also is the founder of Twin Cities Mobile Market. So the food group is so honored that this program joined our organization in 2020, and that we get to carry on this really important, critical work in the food landscape of the Twin Cities. And so I'll have Leah talk a little bit more about how it came to be.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sophia. Hi, everybody. I'm so grateful to be here with you all today and just talk very briefly about how the mobile market got started and some of the impact that it's had since we began. So I started developing the concept and the plan for Twin Cities Mobile Market back in 2013, largely because I was upset by the fact that so many people didn't have access to healthy, affordable foods because of where they lived. So the whole food apartheid problem that we have that Sophia talked about. And food apartheid and systemic racism are complex. There's a lot of layers to it. So it's place and where people live. It's also how much money they have or don't have, whether they have access to transportation. Our neighbors were facing a number of injustices, and to me, the concept for Twin Cities Mobile Market was just one small step that we could take to bring food directly to people by bringing the grocery store directly into neighborhoods to provide that access to fresh, affordable foods for folks. So we launched the Twin Cities Mobile Market in late 2014. And since then, it has provided access to healthy, affordable foods for thousands of our neighbors. And as Sophia mentioned, shortly before the pandemic hit, we transitioned TCMM from operating under the Wilder Foundation, where we had operated for a number of years, to the food group. And part of what informed this move was that I was ready to step away from the day-to-day operations of the program, but I wanted to be sure TCMM really landed in a home where it could be supported and grow, and it would have strong expertise in food sourcing and distribution, including locally grown foods, and have the infrastructure to support it, all the things that the food group does so well. And I wanted to be sure that the mobile market would be in a place where it could continue to evolve, where innovation would be embraced, and most importantly, where promoting equity and fighting injustice would continue to be front and center in its work. So I am so proud of all the work the food group does. And I am especially proud of how the food group and the mobile market stepped up during the height of the pandemic. So during the height of it all, when bus operations had to be suspended for safety reasons, we were able to continue distributing free food to all the mobile market sites through the entirety of the pandemic, which is huge. Um, and now, again, as Sophia mentioned, with inflation and rising food prices, this work is more important than ever. As we've seen through local media coverage and even the recent feature of Twin Cities mobile market on Good Morning America, so many families are having to choose between rent, utilities, or food. And again, that is a choice that no one should have to make. So the work is more important than ever. And I wanted to just share kind of a few examples of the impact of Twin Cities mobile market with you all. So over the years, I've heard story after story from people who've been impacted in a number of different ways. Some have said they wouldn't have a reliable way of getting groceries without the mobile market. We've heard stories of people who don't have transportation or don't feel safe or struggle to walk or take public transit during our long winters. You can imagine, you know that what the sidewalks look like, and it's bad. And try to carry a bunch of groceries while you're navigating slippery sidewalks. One woman once told us, "Without the mobile market, I'd be dead." Many others have told us how much they appreciate having a consistent and affordable access to fruits and vegetables, and how if they're able to only get to a grocery store once a month, they can still shop at the bus every week and have those fresh fruits and vegetables and the other items that they need on a regular basis, and that they're eating much healthier as a result. Um, I've been amazed how unprompted people will come up to me over the years and tell me how excited they are that they've lost weight or they've lowered their blood pressure or improved their diabetes because they've been eating more fruits and vegetables. And because there isn't the option to purchase junk food that is so tempting on those end caps at grocery stores. So there's no junk food on the grocery bus. And most importantly, they've all said they felt better and had more energy. And what I really love, actually, I love all the things, but what I really love about the mobile market are the ways that it can bring people together and strengthen relationships among neighbors. Um, so I'd love to share a quote from a customer talking about her experience shopping on the bus, which you can see on the screen here. She says, "The people there are unbelievable. I can have a lousy day, but then go down to the grocery bus, and there are so many smiles and hugs going on down there that by the time I get the groceries back in the house, the rest of the day is great." So just a few quick examples, but the work of Twin Cities Mobile Market is more important than ever as we see food and other prices increase at historic rates. And the gap between those who can have access to the foods they can afford and those who don't is only going to continue to widen. So through Twin Cities Mobile Market and the other work of the food group, we can ensure our neighbors have access to affordable, nutritious foods, regardless of where they live or other injustices that they may face. So I'd like to turn it over now so you can hear from the food group's sourcing manager, Jolene Baker, on values-based sourcing and how it supports the work of Twin Cities Mobile Market.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be joining you all to share a little bit about myself and the current state of sourcing here at the food group. My background is in sustainable farming, local foods, and food co-ops. I worked on a small organic vegetable farm through college, helped open a food co-op in Fargo, and ran the produce department at Eastside Food Co-op in Northeast Minneapolis before starting at the food group just 3 months ago. The sourcing team here at the food group is comprised of myself and our sourcing coordinator, Prim. Our job is simply to get nutritious, culturally connected food into the warehouse for each of the food group's programs, including Twin Cities Mobile Market. We do this by purchasing from a diverse network of vendors, including local farmers or producers like Open Hands Farm and Forest Mushrooms, both based in Minnesota, wholesalers like Super Value, and secondary markets. Additionally, we receive donations from vendors, farmers, and partners locally, regionally, and nationally, which are distributed to our partners at no cost. Now, we've all heard over and over again that the supply chain is causing disruptions in our food system, and many of you have experienced that, as Leah mentioned. But what does that look like for us at the food bank? It doesn't necessarily mean that there is no product on the market, with the exception of some chicken, but rather that the products are more expensive or take longer to get to us. To combat this problem, we are doubling down our commitment to local food. The local food system is resilient, due largely to the scale with which these vendors produce. Because they are smaller and have more intimate relationships with processors, wholesalers, and customers, local producers have been called on to fill the supply chain gaps we have had throughout the last couple of years. This sourcing would be so much more challenging without the generous support of partners who have awarded us grants specifically for local products, as well as individual donors in our community who, like us, are dedicated to ending hunger. Because of this continued support, we are able to bring healthy, local, and culturally connected foods to the tables of hungry folks in our community, while deepening our relationships with local vendors and creating a more resilient and sustainable food system. Now, pending any technical difficulties, I'd like to introduce Angel and Jadea on the bus to walk us through the Twin Cities mobile market experience.
Thanks, Jolene. Hi, everyone. It's Angel and Jadea. Angel, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Angel Maldonado. I'm one of the drivers right here on the Twin City mobile market, and I consider myself like a concierge of the Twin City mobile market.
Jadea,
First
can you
thing we
just
do-
stand?
we do in
I'm
the
so
morning
sorry
is
to
make
interrupt.
sure we have
Jadea,
everything
can you
ready
stand closer to
presentable
Angel?
and especially fresh and very convenient for the people to buy what they need. Thank you, Jaya, for having me. It's your card. So
Thank you.
normally in the morning, we welcome anybody to the mobile market, and we offer a cart or basket that we got here on the right side. And obviously, we got some fresh fruit. You know, my first experience that I had with the Twin City mobile market was the mango. I stopped in, and the great stuff that was back there that I met that day was incredible. And I bought a mango, and when I tried this mango, I was like, wow, so impressed with the freshness and how good the mango was. I'm from Puerto Rico, and we love fruits, especially mango.
We'll take some of those.
Yes.
Pop them in the cart.
I'm gonna give you a couple of mangoes there. And then the avocado. This is something that a lot of people are buying right now, you know, because we made it so affordable. Thanks to the staff of the food group, we keep everything very affordable, very fresh, and convenient for the people to get. So I'm gonna give you a couple. It's great mango.
Thank you.
Avocados. And then over here we got the dried items on the left side over there, right there. Sorry about that. And one of the items that we're very proud of is the turkey ground beef that is locally. This is from the state of Minnesota. A lot of people been getting those. Then to keep our stuff fresh, I remind people that we also have products inside the fridge, like the beautiful tomato. A lot of people been attacking the tomatoes because it's good for you too. And we continue down, and we got fresh strawberries. We got eggs over here, the orange juice, and the milks. You like to have some strawberries?
Yeah, give me some strawberries. I'll take a little egg. They're hard to get these days.
There we go.
Do you have any jalapenos?
We do have jalapeno. We do have coconut milk, and then we have the fufu. You gotta try this.
I'm gonna need some of that fufu flour. Gluten free.
So after we help people get their up, let's not forget the coffee.
Oh, it's 8:30. I need some coffee. Thank you. How do I pay? I think I'm ready to check out.
So at the end of the bus, you can either pay with EBT, cash, or credit card. Everything is very convenient and easy to do. We have a scanner. We get everything back over here, and then we tell the people, hey, you look us up by scanning this code.
How many locations are you at? Can I
We
find you in the
20
neighborhood?
26 locations right now. And we doing 4 stop every day, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And we there on those locations 1 hour a day.
Great. Thank you so much, Angel.
It's our pleasure. Please visit us, the Twin City Mobile Market.
All right, Sophia, we'll take it back to you for any questions. That's live from the bus.
Nice correspondent work too, Judea. Thank you, Angel and Judea. And truly, seeing the bus in person is great. And if anyone is interested in coming out to one of our sites or seeing us the bus in action, please feel free. With that, we wanted to just leave a few minutes if people have any specific questions. You are more than welcome to add them to the chat or unmute. We have time for a couple of questions for sure, if anyone has any. All right, we've got a question about egg prices. Yeah, so I think, egg prices, it would be a lie to say I'm a deep expert on egg prices. Jolene, do you want to weigh in specifically on eggs?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
There's a big bird flu epidemic right now, especially in the US and the Midwest. We have a lot of chicken and egg production in this area. And so we're seeing the increase in egg prices just simply because of supply and demand. The demand for eggs is always high. And with thousands and thousands of birds dying from the bird flu, production is down. Luckily, we have a great relationship with our local egg supplier, Larry Schultz. You saw them there on the bus, and you'll see them at a lot of grocery stores in the area. And we've been able to get a consistent supply of those local, usually organic and free range eggs for the bus and for our other programs.
Awesome. Thank you, Jolene. Yeah, and there's a question around market bucks. So you heard Angel mention that on the bus we do take EBT or SNAP, which used to be called food stamps. And plenty of our customers definitely do use their EBT cards on the bus. And then there's a great Minnesota program where if you buy $5 of produce using your SNAP card, you get an extra 5. Actually, I think last year it was even extra 10. So it's a great way to really incentivize folks purchasing really healthy foods and incentivize that fresh produce too. So that's another really great program that we're excited to participate in too. All right, well, if anyone has additional questions about Twin Cities Mobile Market or about just any of the other trends kind of in the food space that we're seeing, please reach out. We so appreciate it. Oh, we got one last question. We have time about how often do we restock the bus? So generally we're able to stock in the morning and go to our 2 to 3 locations that day. If ever we have a major sellout, then sometimes we have someone meet up with the bus to kind of stock it up. But it's again, as you could kind of see on the tour that Angel gave, it's an amazing way to use a very small space quite well. So it's wild how much inventory you can get on the bus. And our team is kind of brilliant at figuring out all the nooks and crannies for overstock and all of that. So with that, I'm going to just turn it over to Emily to wrap us up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Eddy White. I'm the Director of Advancement and Culture here at the Food Group. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us and taking some time out of your day to learn more about Twin Cities Mobile Market and the Food Group. We so appreciate you. As Sophia said, we have so many partners and donors and supporters on with us today, and it means so much. We are powered by community as a nonprofit, and there's many ways to get involved. So you can volunteer. Specifically, we have volunteer opportunities with Twin Cities Mobile Market too. We are looking for volunteers to help on the buses at our different locations. So if you're interested, we would love to connect with you. You can reach out to us. You can check us out on our website, thefoodgroupmn.org, our volunteer page, and learn more. But we have lots of opportunities seasonally right now too that are coming up where you can glean at local farms and orchards, the farmers market. We do food rescue. Our farm, Big River Farms, also has volunteer opportunities. And then year round, we have volunteer opportunities to pack and sort food in our warehouse. So please consider volunteering if you haven't already, or come back, please. And then also you can donate and make a gift. And please consider making a gift. Twin Cities Mobile Market and our programs at the food group are powered by donors. So thank you so much for your generous support. You all make this work possible. And we also will be launching a campaign. Our buses are older, and we are going to be needing 2 new buses. So there will be more information to come, but we will be going through the process over the next year, and we'll need community support to make that happen as well. And then we do food and cash drives. We have events like this, so please follow us on social media and check out our website. But thanks again for tuning in. Thanks to the staff that were speakers today, and Judea and Hillary that made a lot of the technology and communications happen too. We were thrilled to have Leah from our board and founder speak as well. And so grateful to all of you for tuning in and for your support. Have a great rest of your day. We pride ourselves on being on time, and it's a minute to 9 o'clock. That's always our goal. So thank you again. And if you have questions, we'd love to stay connected. Thanks, everyone.